The biggest tool for parenting an adult is prayer. Trust the Lord, because you have very little influence.
Yeah.
You can't beat them up.
Yeah.
And your talk sometimes is noise, so they mute it. Even if you continue, you are on mute.
Yeah.
You can talk as much as you want, but in their mind you are on mute.
Yeah.
So the best, you say pray for them. The other thing I tell them to do is discuss with them as you would do a business partner. Just sit down and say, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking? Talk about it, negotiate.
This is a new meeting point for people all over the world to gather for healing and ultimate wellness through the solutions provided in our conversations. Welcome to Wellness with Lilly. Pastor David Ndegerege is a youth minister at St. Andrew's Church, and he took us through a very nice Father's Day show. And he's back today because he was telling me about an interesting trend he has seen among the youth where they don't want to leave home. Wataki kuhama. So we're going to leverage on that to talk about the youth, modern youth, and some of the challenges that the youth are experiencing and how they can be supported. And who are the youth anyway? So karibu sana, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm happy to be back. One of the things I would say is that for the purpose of this show, we need to define who youth are. And we take the age and then we take the schooling. And I would say we are talking about, you can begin from 16 all the way to 21. And then we will talk about 22 all the way to 28. And then the rest of the youth, which is 29 to 35.
Right.
So if you want broad categories, you can come 16 to 24.
Yeah.
And then you can go 25 to 35.
Yeah.
But they are very different. The way they act to things, the way they interact with information and knowledge and all that. And so when we look at that, we need to declare. Any point we make, we need to declare who are we talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 16 to 24, we can call them A, and then 25 to 35, we can call them B, right? For purposes of this show.
Yeah.
Let me start with the ones who don't want to leave home. When did you notice that trend, and how did that look like? Who flagged it for you? Was it the parents, or was it the youth, or was it you who just noticed, something is wrong?
For me, I was invited by a church to speak about parenting adults.
Oh.
And I got shocked. I thought it was actually a mistake, the way typo.
Yeah.
So I asked, what are you asking? What are you asking me to speak?
Yeah.
And they said, speak about parenting adults. So I didn't know how to react. So I called. I said, let me now call to clarify. And I was told yes. So now our children are here, 30 to 40.
They're not moving.
They are not moving out. They are still here at home.
Are they working?
So we want to parent them. Some are not working. Others are working, but they are not moving out. Others are doing online jobs, so they are still inside the house.
Yeah.
So it's just a situation. And nobody knows exactly
what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they were raising them, they thought it would be automatic. An age will come and they will feel uncomfortable to stay at home.
And they'll go.
No,
but I mean, our parents' houses are very comfortable. We are not paying rent. First of all, it's so economical if the young person is not paying rent. And then if the mom cooks very good food. I saw a meme where someone was saying, why would I go? Why? Look at what my mom is cooking.
That's the idea. Of course, you are talking about one side of town, the upper side of town.
Yes.
I don't know why it's always the upper side.
Yeah.
Now, maybe symbolically, but also it's always Milimani. But Mambondeni is always not a good town. So that happens in the upper side of town. And you find that people have built nice houses.
Yes.
People have built nice houses. They tend to run away from the poverty they were raised in.
Yes.
And so they are trying to make the house as comfortable as possible. Because, those days, the way some of us were raised is that the food was just Githui.
Yeah.
Githui was equals food.
Yeah.
So it continued Githui. Yeah. There was a break of some ugali and then back to Githui.
Yeah.
So they tried to change that. So they have made the home very comfortable for themselves and for their kids.
Yes.
They are trying to make sure the kids avoid the problems they went through.
Yeah.
So they didn't know that they have made it too comfortable for their kids. And that became the issue.
Yeah.
So I noticed that when I was being invited, and I began asking myself, where have we gone wrong? Something is very, very wrong.
Wait, so are these people married? The ones who are living home?
So the main issue is people are living complicated lives. Some of these baby daddies people are talking about are living with their parents.
Yeah.
So even if you are told, no, go take the child there, where? To their mother. I mean, he doesn't even have a home of his own.
Yeah.
He's just, there. And if you go and talk to the mother may even accept.
Yeah.
I'm getting very funny families where the guy who is the biological father of the child is not even interested. But the mother is very interested. He's doing everything.
Yeah.
He's even saying, bring the child during the weekend. You find the father is not even there. But you stay there and all that. It's like even these women are getting married,
Uh-huh.
One of the times we were taking someone for a rurashio, a dowry session. We arrived in the town, we met, we were trying now to give what we have so that we organize ourselves. We realized the guy is not there.
Oh.
The mother is the one who is here.
Rurasho?
Yeah. So yes, where is he?
Yeah.
He's a bit late, but he's on his way.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So this whole thing has been organized by the parents?
By the parents.
It's really...
And the guy is getting late.
Wow.
So I told them, as a matter of principle, I can't go to the home if he's not there. So thank you for the invitation. This is the cash I had come with. I'm going back to Nairobi.
Why did you wait for him? How late was he?
We were entering the home.
Wow.
So I'm aiding an illegality.
Yeah.
I'm aiding
and abetting.
Yes, and I'm also organizing a counseling session here. This is going to be counseling very soon.
Yes.
This lady is going to come to my office.
Yes.
And he's going to tell me you guys came. So I better leave and not be part of this.
Yeah.
So it's very, very, very. They are the ones creating these issues.
So okay, these are middle class and above, isn't it? You don't get such problems with lower middle class and below, do you?
We still get a bit of it, but not too much. We still get a bit of it because somebody will they still have their bed there. So they can decide they will, even if it's a small house, they have their bed, they can remain there.
Yeah.
But it's mostly it's the middle class and above who are doing that.
Yeah.
And it's happening to the elite, those who have gone to school. They are the ones who are getting it. So it's like a Western kind of an arrangement, which is becoming the posh thing. And so, but they're also giving pressure to other people because. You live, let's say your parents live in Kirereshwa.
Yeah.
And they also have 3 cars. So you're using one of them.
Yeah.
We went to the same campus. I'm so happy that I have come to Nairobi because my parents are not even in Nairobi.
Yeah.
But I live in Mwiki.
Yeah.
Well, I live in some place. In a 4th floor of a house. And it's either a bed sitter or a 1-bedroom. And I'm doing well because I'm trying.
Yes.
Of course, I can't drive.
Yeah.
I'm using matatu.
Yes.
The pressure starts there.
Yeah.
So they are living a life that they can't afford. And then they are making the people who are affording a simpler life
to look like they are not focused.
Yeah, like they are the losers.
Yeah.
Like they are the ones doing not enough. And they are the ones just doing the best they can.
Yeah.
So that is creating an imbalance of a kind.
Yeah.
Now, there's also something else. The ladies who are not moving out are also staying single longer.
That's true.
Because the estate you live in, they are not single people.
They are not single people.
They are not single people. So you find you are living a life that someone else will feel intimidated about it.
Yeah.
But also you have no place to meet.
Yeah.
Because you are driving, so you are alone in the car.
Yeah.
So the only place you can talk is with your colleagues.
Yes.
So you're in an office where your colleagues are not potentials.
Yeah.
Where do you meet a potential person? A matatu would have been a good place. Queuing for it inside the matatu, it would have been nice. Also, if you are living alone, going to buy curtains and in utensils, would have been another place to meet. So all these things, when you find your father has already paid for you a membership of a club.
Yeah.
So you go to that club and there's no potential there. Unless you want to be a second, third wife, there is no potential there.
Yeah.
So that is complicated everything in terms of the way they're coming up. But it's all about how upbringing has changed.
Yeah.
How people are being brought up.
Now, what did you tell those parents? How do they parent the adults? How do they coexist together?
The biggest tool for parenting an adult is prayer. Trust the Lord. Because you have very little influence.
Yeah.
You can't beat them up.
Yeah.
And your talk sometimes is noise, so they mute it. Even if you continue, you are on mute.
Yeah.
You can talk as much as you want, but in their mind, you are on mute.
Yeah.
So the best, you say, pray for them. The other thing I tell them to do is discuss with them as you would do a business partner. Just sit down and say, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking? Talk about it, negotiate.
Yeah.
Say, but I think this can also work. What do you think? And this can do. Can I give you a contact? Go call and see whether... Talk with them as you would do. Don't remove the issue of child.
Okay, yeah.
And now bring him like another adult.
Yeah.
Talk with him, negotiate. Get a compromise and see what to do.
Yeah.
The soonest you can, allow them to do things for themselves. Like you cannot now house hunt for them.
Oh, but they don't want to do it. Why should I do it?
So I'm saying when you negotiate and you get to that point, don't house hunt for them.
Okay.
Don't give them part of the things. Let them go buy their own things.
Right.
And so the soonest you can, begin to allow them to do things.
Yeah.
The other thing you also do is ask them to chip in.
Right.
Yeah, tell them, do this, pay their water.
Yeah.
Pay the electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you have been having some gigs here and there. Could you refill the gas for us? Yeah. That way, they begin to get uncomfortable. So in that way, that helps. Okay. Because, like an eagle, when they want the chicks to move, it destroys the nest. Yeah. Totally. Yeah, that's true. And then they have to go. Yeah, so you try as much as possible to do that. Yeah. Yeah, but for those who are younger, start earlier. Do not start earlier.
Okay. Before we go to starting earlier, I really want to zero in on this person who is living in their parents' mansion. Even economically, it doesn't look wise. Okay, I mean, why would I want to pay rent when I can comfortably stay at my parents' house? Is there a way to make that work? Is there a way to still live within your parents' house or compound or even property? Maybe they have separate property that they allow their child to live in. How can this child make that work for them?
It's possible to make it work, but this needs to be a choice you make, not a circumstance you find yourself in. Yeah. So if you're making a choice, you're saying proximity to work. Yeah. My parents' place will work. Yeah. The space I need, to the security I need is this. Yeah. So when you take it as your own terms. So even if you have a room for yourself, or maybe you're staying in the servant's quarter, or decide that this is my space. Yeah. This is my space, and this is where I'm going to be operating from. Yeah. And immediately you decide that, see what you can chip in, looking like rent. Yeah. So see what you can do. Yeah. So that you say, Mom, every end of this month, I'll give you 5,000. Yeah. That's what is comfortable for me. Yeah. Of course, it's not that they need the money. Yeah. But it's important for you to do that. Yeah. Then you work something out. So if I'm going to be coming late, then I don't need to wake everybody up. So I need to get my own keys to open the gate for myself. Yeah. So you take responsibility of some things that you may make others uncomfortable for it. Yeah. So if it's food, I may decide to do my own food because I actually don't want to come and then I don't want to complicate to make their lives harder. Yeah. So you try and make yourself independent, although you are still dependent in that way. The issues of dating and relationship needs to also be you need to be flexible on that. Because if you are a man living in your own parents' house, it will be difficult to date. Especially if those dates need to come home. Yeah. It will be a difficult one. So you need to ask yourself, how will that work? Yeah. How will that work? And will people feel comfortable to come here? Yeah. they have seen my dates before I have even become serious. So if only they see 3 dates before I even introduce them officially, how do they think of me? So which is normal.
But let me take a short detour. Do you recommend bringing your dates to your house even if you're living on your own?
I wouldn't recommend because that becomes a complicated kind of dating. But what I'm saying is,
for any reason, if for any reason I need to bring a guy home,
you are interacting in a certain way, and since you are staying at home, there's a lot of possibility they will get to know. That's the thing. If you're using a family car, they will get to know. You dropped someone, you came with them, picked something and went. There's always a way that you will find a brushing of shoulders. So I wouldn't recommend, but it happens. So it needs to be that when you bring them home, you're not bringing them to your parents. At that point, you are bringing them to, just your house,
your space.
So that I would say. So you need to think about all that. Now.
And also, so their finances. So financially, let's say I'm actually financially organized, but I just feel like I don't want to do a double thing. I don't want to pay for a house when there's a house available. Where else can I take my finances? Can I redirect my finances in a better way?
There are 2 things. One is that you need to pay something in that house.
Okay.
Because your parents are also adults who have bills to pay.
Yes, that's true.
So as another adult, it is wrong to be taken care of by another adult.
So what happens is that probably I will pay and then it will be subsidized. So if it
will be subsidized, yes. So now you can decide to open an account where it's like a mortgage you are paying.
Okay.
So it can be you are paying, instead of paying 10,000, you are paying 5,000 to the parents, and 5,000 is going to another account, which is like for home ownership. At one point. Now that works.
Okay.
Because you are saving money and that is working. And be aware of that. Be aware that it's complicating your life. Even that is complicating your life. It's no matter which gender you are.
Why is that?
It is still complicating your life.
Like for those details of bringing your date home or for something else?
No, even for just financial arrangements.
How is it?
Because if you're a lady and you begin to date, first the first discomfort will be that you stay with your parents. It's a discomfort area.
For sure.
So they may actually request you to just move out. So that you can plan maybe your wedding and marriage in a better way. Because sometimes they have to drop you maybe very late at night and all that, and they will feel uncomfortable. Maybe it's your father opening the gate. And it's the guy that is, it's just murky. I say so just know that there will be a complication.
Okay.
So be aware that if you want to have a little independence, move. You need to move. So initially, let's say you are employed at 22, 23, and you're saying, I'm sure I can't move out of this place. So you say, I want to stay here. If nothing happens in my social life, I want to stay here until I'm 30. So what do I need to do by the time I'm 30 that will make me move in a comfortable home? So I have my savings, and this is the way I'm going to do them. I've had even a parent who asked the daughter to pay rent, but what the parent did open an account where she was paying rent. And when she wanted to get a mortgage, that became her deposit. For the mortgage.
Okay. Oh, wow. That was so kind of the mother.
You see, so it worked very well. So it needs to be like that, because what you're doing is, you see, you're not living for free. You're just living off someone else.
That's true.
Which is not okay. It is not okay to live off someone else.
Okay. What are the other challenges you've seen among the youth in the congregation in terms of upbringing?
People are growing up later. They used to grow up earlier. So people are not growing up very well. So what's happening is that someone who is 18 these days is really not an adult. Is a child. And a very small one.
How do you tell? Communication or what? How do you tell?
Responsibility. You can't really leave anything to them.
With them.
You can't just say, take this and run with it. They can't.
Give me an example of like something very specific that you have encountered in your experience and you're like, why are you like this?
I would say, for example, pocket money. I've had someone given 10,000 as pocket money for a camp.
Wow.
And then you see the things they are
Camp
buying.
is like 2 days.
3 days and somebody has 10,000. You see what they are buying with that money and they say, this one.
What are they buying?
They need a lot of, the first thing they buy is a pizza. So pizza is what I'm going to buy.
Yeah.
So, after some time, you see they have bought, mostly things to eat.
Yeah.
So it's eating, food. So I asked them, wouldn't you buy one thing that can outlast the 3 days? Just one thing, not many. One. Secondly, wouldn't you want to go back home with something? Can you just buy bread or biscuits for your younger brother?
Yeah.
I mean, why would you go home with just dirty clothes when you went out with 10,000?
Yeah.
And I tell you, this conversation seems to be the first time I'm having it.
Oh.
They're
wondering, wow, that's possible.
Yeah, telling them, carry a souvenir for you, huh?
And they're
for
like,
your family. Why? They don't need it. If they need this, they will just buy.
Also, yeah.
And if my brother needs biscuits, he'll get them. I'm saying that's not the idea. The idea is let this 10,000 show that you are mature. You're mature enough. And for me, thank God I work with youth. I now know how to parent my kids. I know how to do that. So I'm able to give them, if I give them like 200 this weekend, and I say, divide the money. This is savings. This is offering. This is what you want to invest. What do you want to invest in? It's not enough. Yeah. So what do? You add the savings, but you know that it was not for savings, it was for investment. So when it is this amount, you can invest.
Yeah.
So buy something for someone who can't buy it back to you.
Yeah.
How are you going to do that? So I have to tell them. So I'll tell them, we are going to visit grandfather. What are you carrying for him? I say, Dad, in my savings, I have 1,000. Can I buy something with 100 shillings? Then what do you think you want to buy for your father? A packet of milk. Okay, buy him.
Oh, that's good.
So that everybody is carrying something to their grandfather.
Yeah.
Not that he needs it, but it's showing them,
the idea.
This is your thing, but you share it this way. This is how an adult shares things. I have I don't eat all my money, otherwise you guys have no rent.
Yeah.
Like if I was to eat all my money, you guys have no rent, have no school fees.
Yeah.
So responsibility has been the issue. So you find such a circumstance. You'll also find somebody who was employed. Immediately they're employed, they just change their wardrobe. That's the first thing they change, which is not a very bad thing. Then they change their phone. Those are the things they are changing immediately. I tell them, now your parent has paid your school fees all along.
Yeah.
And you have wiped out your salary
with just things for yourself.
Things for yourself, nothing for anyone else. Your brother is in school. What would you think of just, saying, Dad, I just decided, let me pay this 2,000 for next term school fees for my brother. Or just go home with the shopping. Say, I've bought these things, Or look at your mother and say, what can I buy her?
Yeah.
Buy some warm sweater or some, do some. Why is it that you think of yourself 100%?
Yeah.
The funny thing, you are staying with them. So you even know their needs. So why are you so they're not growing up.
That's interesting. The other day I was talking to a dad who was so frustrated with their son. He was saying he feels like his sons don't listen, like they just don't hear him. And he was really frustrated. So my question was, is it that the children are not hearing or the parents don't know how to communicate to their children? Because I think sometimes the parent has tried to tell them what you are telling them. Don't think about yourself, buy things for people, do things, help people, help around, be responsible. But for some reason, the message did not reach home. How come? Why did that communication, where did the breakdown happen?
Again, not understanding the ages is where the problem starts. How are you talking to them? The way I talk to my 9-year-old is not the way I would talk to an 18-year-old. So communication is a two-way traffic. You need to reason. If you want them to listen to you, reason.
There's something interesting you had said, that when you're talking to people, you calibrate with your age.
Yes.
What is that?
You need to ask yourself, who am I speaking to? What are their priorities right now? How do they communicate right now? Take yourself back and ask yourself, how, in that time, how would I like someone to speak to me? And how you get to know that is you listen.
Yeah.
So if you want your children to listen to you, listen more. Because you are not hearing them. If they're not hearing you, you're not hearing them. They're talking to you.
Can you give me an example of a time when you heard a young person after not hearing them, so that we can compare the difference between how to know that you heard them or you didn't hear them?
Okay. I would say, for example, a child comes to me and tells me, I don't like my school. And I think I just don't like the idea of school. Mm-hmm. I think one can make money without going to school. Mm-hmm. Immediately you hear that, the first instance would be to just tell them you are so wrong.
Yeah.
You are so naive.
Yeah.
You think you can survive without school? That should not be the idea.
Uh-huh.
The idea is to say, okay, so what is the issue with the school?
Uh-huh.
So they tell the issue with the school, and then you will hear things that you feel are so wrong. You want to counter, but still, calm yourself. Uh-huh. Listen again. Mm. So why would you think that other schools are just like the school you are in? And then they'll tell you, my friend. You continue listening. Yeah. Then you'll ask, why do you think the idea of school is not a good idea? So they will tell you. Mm. And then you will say, you said you can make money without going to school. How do you think that works? Mm. Let me tell you, as they continue to talk, they'll get you to a point where they say, okay, I get you. I think for you to make money this way, you will still need a bit of schooling. Yeah. But I think now, at that point, you have a voice.
Oh, you've converted them.
This is at the time now you can talk. You have earned the right to talk. Okay. But so far, you are not earned the right to talk. So you have to. Yeah. And you calibrate it. You ask yourself, people of this age, what are they thinking? What are they doing? Who is influencing them? Yeah. And, what would make them click with me? Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, it's hard work. It's hard work. You don't think that just because you have DNA and age, mm-hmm. because I'm their parent and I'm older, that you earn a right to talk. You don't. You'll have to listen to them, follow through, and don't listen to respond.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Listen to understand. Yeah. And I can tell you, give you an example with why sometimes even women feel not heard. Mm-hmm. It is because as men, we really listen. Mm-hmm. Listen. Mm-hmm. Let's say my wife, is in a car. It breaks down. Mm-hmm. And she calls me. Mm-hmm. The first thing in my mind is to ask myself, where is that car? Who is driving it? Do I have a mechanic around there? Mm-hmm. Who can... But that is not what she's calling me for.
Yes, tell them.
That is not what she's calling me for.
Tell them.
So she's calling me to listen. Yes. To her frustrations. Yes. Because I'm sure the driver is doing something about what I may do about. I'm sure she's not the only passenger there. Yeah. So that is not the idea. Yeah. So I need to hear. So what happened? Mm-hmm. What happened? How did they stop? What happened? Yeah. What was the driver saying? Uh-huh. So right now, what are they doing? Uh-huh. What are the other passengers? Yeah. Are there people in distress? Yeah. Are there people using another car? Yeah. What's going on? Uh-huh. So why did you want to arrive at this time? Mm-hmm. What are the things you think are going wrong? Because she does not want a solution.
Maybe even there's a solution.
Something is happening, of course. There's no way everybody is just waiting for this woman's husband to sort them out. Yeah. There's no way all of them say, now the only one to sort us is this lady's husband. Yeah. There's a way they are working things out. So that issue of listening is something that is not very, very good. So you need to hear what they are saying. Yeah. So hear them. And sometimes the first meeting, I don't talk. I just hear, we pray, and say, let's come again and hear.
Oh, that's good.
So you'll hear again. So what they do, they look forward to come. And when they have something to say, they will come. Yeah. Because they are not coming to a problem-solving place. They're coming to a place where they can talk.
Vent.
They talk.
Complain.
They make all that, and then we see. So I say, how did you make them do this? I didn't make them. We got to a point where we agreed this is the best thing to do.
Yeah.
So at that point,
Yeah.
And there are moments I don't even try to advise. When I look at the situation, I realize whatever decision they're trying to make is a wrong one, but its implications are not that huge.
Oh.
I just allow them to make it.
Oh.
So like, you go ahead, make that decision. It's a bad one, but make it.
Yeah.
Then we'll discuss.
Let's talk about clothes. I don't know. I've had a lot of parents complaining about the clothes that their children are wearing, you know, crop tops, very short, micro minis and whatever. As a parent, how do you deal with that?
It is to understand the concept of clothes. First, understand the concept of clothes. What is the issue?
Fashion.
Because what is the real issue? Because as an older person, my issue is not the issue I have is not the issue they have.
Yeah.
Because in our days, people who wore like this were also behaving like this, and that's how they were seen by society. But that's not the same way today. That's not the perception today. So I need to understand why they are wearing like that.
One dad told me, because I asked him, so what's wrong with those, whatever you're describing? And he said, I don't like them. So, and it's my house. Why should you come to my house and do things that are making me uncomfortable?
Now, parenting is different from buying a car, because you can change the color of the car, the seats. You're not, and you know, let me tell you, it starts very early. As you begin by dressing your child a certain way.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if I'm a pastor, I begin to ask my son to buy suits for my son. You see, it's not about my son, it's about me.
Yeah.
My son is not comfortable in the suit, but I feel nice to see him in a suit.
Yes.
So that's being very selfish, that I am clothing them for my comfort.
Hey, that's selfish though.
You know, so when they begin
They're
to...
my child.
You see, giving birth to a human being is different from buying a property.
That's true.
It's different.
Agreed.
And so even as, for example, I may want to clothe my wife a certain way.
Yes.
But you see, she's not a property. She can also decide not to be clothed that way.
Yeah, but wife and child is different.
It's not really very different because they are grown to be adults. These youth are becoming adults. So they are getting to a point where they want to have a choice of their own. And how they look, it is not you who will go looking like that. It is them. You know, so you decide all of us are wearing orange. So even the son is in a orange trouser.
Yeah.
So you will not be there so that they see it's a vibe in your family.
Oh,
they will be alone in an orange trouser.
Yeah.
So people are wondering what's wrong with this guy.
Yeah.
So you need to. It has to be a balance. So hear them, so that you have come to a compromise. So they may tell you, "Me, I want to do this because of this." So you get to know. So can you also Basi wear this? This one, it will still make you feel like that to make you also comfortable. Oh. So now that way you are talking.
Yeah.
You're having a compromise.
Yeah.
So you need. So even when it comes to clothing, you ask yourself that. I made statements that sometimes make people uncomfortable. But I was telling them, if the issue why your daughter is coming to church is the issue of clothes, they must wear. Tell them to come the way they are. In fact, tell them to go to the bathroom and just leave. Come.
Right.
Ogechi, the way they are, as naked as they are, let them come to church. So people get uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's very uncomfortable.
When I see a youth, the first thing I see is not their dressing. The first thing I see is that they came.
They came.
That for me is I'm happy. They came. They actually left. I'm in the center of Nairobi.
Yeah.
They came from all the way. They left all the options.
Yeah.
And clicked church.
Yeah. Celebrate.
I celebrate.
Yeah.
Wow. You actually came? Welcome to the office. I normally keep some patkos in my office. Put them on the table and say you can pick as much as you want.
I love patko. I'm going to come to your office.
My office has a bunch of them. So I keep on saying that. So for me, it is not clothes I see first. When I see a youth, I first see that they came.
Presence.
And I see that they are important.
Yes.
They matter.
Yes.
And I care. So I ask them, how are you? Sometimes they will just brush it. I'm okay. So I'm asking, how are you? I'm actually interested to know how you are. I am not, it is not a thing I'm saying as I pass.
Pastoral.
I'm asking you, how are you? So they'll tell me. And then some of them will say, you remember my name? You remember which course I'm taking? You actually remember which... I didn't think you do. I say, I do. Because I care enough, I know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I know my leaders by names. I know which courses they did for those who are working, where they work. I know. Some of them may not update me, but the time I get them, I'll be updated. So I get to know.
Yeah.
and I do that a lot. So as a parent, you must do that.
Okay.
Talk to them. It sometimes feels, it's not a very comfortable feeling when you're having to woo your child back.
Yeah.
Like, I am wooing my child that I gave birth to. I'm struggling for his attention. I'm struggling for, please, for the sake of, you do that in your business.
Yeah.
You bow down literally to people where you work.
Yeah.
You respect your boss who is younger. Why are you not doing it for somebody you love?
Yeah.
Bow. Bow down. Get it done. And I tell you, when you actually win that way, they become your friends.
So moving away now from those people who are coming from a privileged space, there are also those who are stuck in their parents' houses, but for lack of privilege. Because maybe you started paying rent and started paying the bills, and now you're stuck. You're paying rent in your mother's house. So now your mother is dependent on you. How now does somebody work themselves out of that situation?
Now, that's a difficult situation because you have become a parent to your parents.
Yeah.
Now, so you are in a side of the world that is not very common, but it's very difficult. So at that point, what you need to do is this is now about financial prudence. It's just like you're in your home and you have your children, and they have school fees and you need to do now financial prudence.
Yeah.
So if your parents maybe are sickly, you are looking for a good health insurance. If your parents can do something, it is, if your mother can sell, can be a mama mboga, you see how to help her become a mama mboga.
Yeah.
You try. Yeah. Also, if you are able to get help from your siblings, again, you try. So at this point is financial prudence, is diversification. At this point, you are now the adult. You are at the point where now you need to sort yourself out. Yeah. So you need to check a few things. And I always say sometimes small things will help you. Like I've said, some good insurance, health insurance, some extra business out there.
Yeah. Business for who?
For your parents, for your parents if they can. Sometimes they are too old to do.
Also I find that sometimes starting a business for someone becomes also another white elephant, whereby like you need to restock, but the old stock has not gone. They're not very agile, so they're not able to really monetize it. So it becomes something that you also now need to keep boosting.
It's a burden.
Yeah.
Most of the times it's because we also start from a very high level of thinking. We, maybe you have a salary of 100,000, so you're thinking, yes, I need a business that gives 20K.
Yeah.
That's not the way to think about business. If you want to start a mama mboga business, unanunua mboga mbili. You buy things worth like 5K.
Yes.
Maximum.
Yes.
And then you start from there.
And put it on a shed.
Just there.
Yeah.
In fact, if you can go and get somebody to give you some space, they have their own shed, kusongea kidogo.
Oh, yeah.
That would be
sense.
much better.
Yeah.
So you can also go get, villagers to send you avocado, kutumia hizi magari, to NK, whatever.
Yeah.
Then munaweka inaiva. Then anaenda anasongewa kidogo.
Yeah.
Don't start with that big. You wouldn't. I've done business.
Yeah.
I can tell you, start big, you will fall.
Yeah.
Because when nature goes, even children are born small. Seeds are small. Anything you start big is going to fall.
Yeah. So
again, I'm saying prudence in the way you do it. So start small, try and listen to them, what they want, what they like, what they can go for.
Yeah.
And that will start with that. Also try to see what they can do to save you money. You see, so if your mother is still living with you and she's a good cook, she will cook you lunch, so you can carry a packed lunch to save lunch money.
Yeah.
Small things that will be helpful for you. Of course, if it's fruits, you eat fruits that are in season. So you eat the ones that are cheaper because of season. Yeah. If this is Maembe season, we'll eat Maembe for 3 months. If this is, you at that point is prudence is what you need.
Yeah.
Not don't try to be too big.
How can I get out of it completely? If I want to move out and start my own family, but I feel like I'm tethered to my parents because they need me.
Now, again, that's a case-to-case basis issue. But you can still pay rent for your parents and not live with them. It is still possible.
Yeah.
You can still pay rent for them in a humble house and not live with them. Yeah, it's also possible. Remember, they are your parents. So parenting your parents is not fully your responsibility.
Yeah, that's true.
So what you're doing is giving back, being grateful.
Yeah.
But it's not that the world is waiting for you to move mountains for them. You can if you're able to, you can support where you can. Also, involve other siblings. Involve other siblings, but also know that your parents cares. They would like you to progress. Not that they want to freeze you out and then you have nothing.
Yeah.
They want you to progress. So you can pay for them rent as you live in another place.
A common thing I've seen is that there are these people who built businesses, bought land, and the idea was so that my children don't have to suffer. So the underlying idea, and sometimes even the obvious thing that is being drummed is, it is you who will take over my business. But I've seen so many cases where the child who is being expected to take over this business does not have interest in that business. And so they manage the business badly, but the parent feels like they almost feel dependent on this child because no one else can be in management. I am dying, so it has to be you. So you see a company or just a franchise that is being run down in front of your eyes, but the parents can't do anything because it has to be their child.
I see that a lot. One is first is to appreciate that the generation that grows with a soft life will not be hard for life.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So, and generations will change. So what you need to do is try and install values in your children, more of values, try to have them have convictions, form convictions of their own. It's much, much important than the money you leave them. Much, much more important. In fact, when you are doing money issues, save but also spend. Save but spend. Also spend. Live a good life.
Yeah.
If you try to deny yourself so that they can have a better life, they can find money. Better life for me, education is okay. Deny yourself for the education. But don't deny yourself so that you can have a lot of land, a lot of this for them. No. I mean...
Because a lot of older generation parents are also frustrated because they bought lands and they want to farm, but their children have no interest, and they're wondering what will now happen to this land when I'm gone.
You see, one of the running call I've been saying all throughout this show is that children are not property. You cannot say I'm investing in them so that that's not how things work. They are people, they are human beings with ambitions and passions, and they have their own personality traits. I mean, it's different. You can only hope. You cannot say confidently, my son will be the one who will till that land. Where? They are human beings. They are going to become independent things. So a time will come when they don't need your things, and they don't want them. So if they do, well and good. If they don't, well and good. So I would say instill values, instill more of build the character, convictions towards it, not more of money. So you use your money well, spend it on yourself also. Not too much on that, because generations will change. Generations will change, and they have a life of their own, and God has a purpose for them too. So trust God, because the other day we were looking at new houses in Kidereshwa, and we were saying these ones used to belong to very big politicians those days. We can identify some of them. Now the people who own them now are children of their cooks, their guards, their The people the children who own now the houses, the people who own the houses are children of people who used to work for them. So the guys they were working for educated their kids in a very hardship area.
Yeah.
Their kids became extremely hardworking.
Yeah.
And now they have bought these houses. They left with their kids who did not manage them very well. And at one point, either banks sold them or they themselves sold. To who? The kids of the poor.
Of the poor.
You know, the parents who are now pampering children are kids of the poor. They are the ones doing this.
Yes.
They are the ones that are not able to release their kids to go and work elsewhere.
Yeah.
They are the ones whose kids have refused to move out of the house.
Yeah.
So you see, the cycle is repeating itself.
Yeah.
So the thing is not money and property and what you leave to your children. Values.
Values.
It is values, build their character and their convictions.
Yeah.
Especially about corruption, about how they deal with money, about how they treat people. These things are what matters.
Yeah.
Because at the end of it, property is dicey. Very, very dicey. To get to a point where the property you left moves hands very, very fast.
Yeah.
Immediately you are gone, maybe that evening your car is sold.
Yeah.
You know, they will sell the land.
Yeah.
You know, and then you realize that the best would have been if you put values in them. Yeah.
Values, yeah. Tell me, what are some red flags of someone who is just like that's, for example, one of the red flags you mentioned, it's my Rora show, but I'm here and the guy is not here. The groom is not here. That's a red flag.
Yeah.
Because clearly this whole thing is being handled by his parents. So these parents who have money, they tend to really support. I'm putting it in quotes because we're never quite sure whether it's support or whether they are proving their own point to some other people we don't even know. But they're very supportive. What are some red flags that can help me escape from being in a situation where my spouse is a pampered child, basically, and not responsible, not able to raise a family?
Okay, to begin with, let's first say you can't avoid if you're in this generation.
You can't avoid?
You can't avoid. So it is to ask which level do you tolerate?
Oh.
Right now you can't avoid.
Really?
You can't avoid. This is the pool. Ile bale iko soko ndio hii. Hiyo ndio hii. That's the idea.
Okay.
Sometime back, getting a lady who can't cook was rare.
Yeah.
Now this is the bill you get. They can cook some things, but a lot of things they can't. Immediately you get married, you buy a washing machine. That's the idea. So I would say which level? There are levels you should not tolerate. And the first one is indecision, where this person has to wait for someone else to make a decision. Especially if it's a parent. That's a red flag. That he has to wait. Like you are looking to buy something. Let's even a sofa set.
Yeah.
When you are there and you are helping him and then he calls, Dad, I know your couch is really good. Where did you buy it? Can I send you a photo? Now that. Or
that looks innocent because isn't it the same way a guy would call a friend?
So I'm saying, begin to raise your antennae.
Oh.
You have seen that, raise your antennae now. Now, this could be a situation.
Yeah.
The next one is, who referred you to there? So and so. Ask yourself, is this guy ever going to do something for himself? So if he was referred to, somebody made a phone call for him to get that job. The father did this for him. The father did this for him. Mom did this for me. Mom will buy me this. Hey? What did you do for yourself?
Yeah.
So you begin to, indecision is one of the biggest. Because a man needs to make a decision.
Yeah.
But even a lady needs to make a decision.
Yeah.
If the lady is just, mommy this, daddy this, daddy this, my daddy will get me from school, my daddy will drop me, where do you want me to be dropped? My daddy will do this. Hey.
Because there are these wealthy parents who are able to do everything, like get insurance, buy the car, give you a house.
That's the thing. And sometimes they also struggle to do that, but they are in a position to do it, but they struggle. They have capacity, but they are stretching themselves. Because every parent tries to sell themselves for their kid.
Yeah.
And unless I'm saying that that's the way it is. Even the children we are raising, they are living beyond their standards. That's the thing. The children we are raising today, maybe my son thinks I'm extremely rich.
Yeah.
Because for sure there are things I've stretched myself for him to have. So you find that even those parents are struggling, but they still push. They push themselves. They push themselves. So you can get into that relationship, but you need to begin to both of you to see how you can get your independence. So that you get out of that situation. Otherwise, you'll be competing with somebody much older.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can't compete with your dad. I mean, I can't. I'm younger. I'm less experienced. I have less money. So if your dad is going against my decisions, done. So I can't compete. You can't compete with your fiancé's mother.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, she's older, she's more experienced. They have loved this guy for longer. She has more strings to pull than you can. So I mean, you can't compete. So if you see those red flags, begin to raise your antennae. And if there's too much indecision, decision is coming from somewhere else, there's too much dependence on the parents, just step away. Because you'll be married to the parents. And sometimes it's so uncomfortable to be married to old people.
It's
via proxy. Their son is a proxy. So they're controlling your house,
from
remote control from a
remotely,
distance. They are saying this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. They're even saying, why did you take your child to that hospital? Or they're telling you, I've talked to my friend who owns a school. That's where your son will be going to.
Sometimes I feel like it's such a thin line because these parents actually have the benefit of experience. So you can't really just say that they are controlling you. I've seen a case where the parents took their child to a certain hospital against their parents' advice, and things went seriously wrong. And the next time when they followed their parents' advice, things went well. So that was a couple trying to be independent, only to realize that they made a mistake.
That's a possibility. But you see, there is a healthy way of a parent, giving you their advice and why. But there's a bad way of, there's already a driver at there. I've already sent a driver at your gate. Please just get into the car. They will take you to the hospital where I know things will be okay. Now that's different.
So there has to be room for us as a couple to just make the mistake.
That's the thing. You have to allow your child to walk away from you. They will never walk. If you have to walk with them, they will never walk. They have to walk away. It's risky, but you have to walk away. You can say, hey, no, be careful there, but they are walking away. Not you. Instead of removing something from them, you should tell them, be careful. Be careful instead of removing everything around.
It's so tempting to remove everything around.
I even see parents who lock their fridge and all that. It's easier when you control rather than try to remove the temptations. Okay. So there's that thin line. But you see, at that point, you're already inside. So you are managing. Now, the conversation is very different. But if it's somebody you're already quoting and everything, the red flag comes up, the better thing is to block. Before you get too far.
Right. I believe we've learned a lot. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you all for watching. Where can someone find you, or where can people attend your services?
All right. We are based at PC St. Andrews. I work there as a youth director. We have services, church services from 8:30 to 10, youth service. Then we have 11:30 to 1. We also have free counseling services available in church. Our number is 0757 022 022. You can find us there. I'm also on social media pages as Pastor Ndegs. So you're welcome and to follow and of course make comments. And I'm sure if they comment on even this show, we are able to give a few links on where we are. And I'm glad to be here.
Thank you once again for watching. This has been Wellness with Lilly. Thank you for watching and bye.